This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Play ball!
Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Take a Weeknights. Harrison Arens and Jackson Kleinschmidt joining me to my left. We'll go live for another hour, and then we'll run some replays for you guys to keep Take a Weeknights going. As always, if you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. That is the Sartor Heyman text line, as well as Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo Channel 961. You can put a face to the voice. That being said, Jackson, how's it going on a nice Monday?
Pretty good.
Absolutely. And I am curious. We'll start off with this. I talked to the morning Pierce Snell about it. 7-on-7, not this weekend, following Friday. Is it this weekend?
I thought it was this Friday.
Oh, let me double check on that. Either way, while I look the date on that to be exact, are you going to be attending?
I think so.
Yeah, June 6th, this Friday.
I believe so. Yeah. I want to anyways. I know the first 500 fans in there get a shirt, a Gatorade, and a slice of Valentino's. So.
Oh, is the sliced pizza as well? I thought it was pizza. Or not, hot dog.
Is it a hot dog?
Yeah, it's a Gatorade, a hot dog, and some Adidas t-shirt.
Yeah, that. I know. Yeah, it's a Fairbury. It's a Fairbury Frank. That's what it is.
Yeah, you get a Fairbury Frank. If you're the first 500 to show up, you will get a free Gatorade.
There's going to be like 2,000 people outside that stadium.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. So, put in perspective, spring game at Nebraska before COVID, we were talking 85,000 people. Damn near a sellout. COVID hits as like 33 because of regulations. We couldn't pack it if we wanted to. The year after COVID, we never fully recovered, but we're still getting about 65,000 people. Husker games come about 8,000 to 9,000 is what they thought the head count was in Memorial Stadium. So from 85,000 down to only 8,000 people for 7-on-7 tournament. I actually feel like there's more excitement for this than the Husker games because the Husker games was so
and it's free
spread out. Also, I think people, you go to the garage sale and then it's like, how much more do you want to do throughout the day?
Yeah.
Especially knowing you're not going to go see an actual football game.
Yeah, I walked in Memorial Stadium on Husker games and I was like, okay. I honestly was like, I sat there for a little bit, like less than an hour. I sat there for a little bit and I was like, all right, that's enough.
It just wasn't very exciting.
No, like this feels like, okay, I'm about to go watch some ballers. Like
they're going to compete.
If I remember the names or if, they have like a little like program or something, you keep it. And then down the line, you're watching the NFL draft and you're watching probably some of these guys go in the first round, second round. You're like, oh, I saw this guy play in high school in Lincoln like ages ago. Like, that's just pretty cool.
And for me, it's just all high school athletes, right? Like,
yes,
okay.
It's all high school. I don't know if
no chance of like trade or like not trailers, but like Dylan Raiola going in there and just throwing a pass. I don't think he's going to be there out present. I don't know what it's going to
never
look like.
Say never. The Dylan Raiola took snaps in the girls flag football game, so
yeah,
never say never.
I'm just curious how it's all going to work. Like obviously, it's going to be a competition, right? They're going to do 7-on-7. It's not going to just be fun and games. Dylan Raiola is going to go out there like right off the bat. If there is something like that, I'd imagine it's like lighthearted towards the end, or where the guys are just having fun. But it's going to be actual competition. So what I'm trying to figure out is more than the Husker games, or just the same or less.
I would almost feel like more. These guys are
top tier athletes.
Yeah, and also like some of these guys are trying to get recruited or getting recruited. This stuff's going to be filmed and put on the internet. Like if somebody, imagine like you're a wide receiver and you moss somebody in this game, it's going to be everywhere on Twitter.
Yeah, scouts alone will get it. Quite a few people in there. Just
so it's a great stage for these kids for one, and then if you're a football fan, go.
Yeah,
I mean go watch some great football during June. And it's free. Like that's the best part about it is that it's free.
That's what I'm surprised by.
Husker games wasn't expensive at all, but yeah, you had to buy a ticket, which is a little bit more of a hassle. This one, you show up, you park for free. They're not charging you for parking. They said you can park in whatever garage there.
Yeah, you just got to make it down to the stadium however you want to.
And then, or you can, wherever. They don't really care about where you park. They're not charging for it. And then they're not charging for you to enter the stadium. You just have to enter through the gate that they tell you to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on.
Super excited. I definitely know that if I got nothing better going on, I will be heading down there to go watch some 7-on-7. And then, to your point, the fun thing to me is obviously they're not all going to be Huskers at the end of their high school 10 years, but give us 5-6 years down the line, we're going to be watching NFL draft day.
Yeah.
And if you still got that pamphlet or whatever, or even if you remember some of the names and faces, you'll be like, yeah, I remember when that guy showed up. That makes sense, because again, I'm just super excited about the talent pool we're going to see. And that's where I do hope it does fill up. Because again, that's a big recruiting tool. Like if you can get that place pretty full in June, what are the recruits that come up here? I shouldn't call them recruits. What are the athletes that come up for the 7-on-7 going to think? This is awesome.
The fan base, if you're a fan, show out. That's helping Nebraska. Because if a kid's thinking about Nebraska or wants to think about Nebraska, show them what the fan base is like.
especially for a lot of high school athletes, because I'm not sure how many of them understand how dedicated Husker football is. With social media, they understand a lot more before, but even for someone like you got here in the worst of times. Actually, not really. You got here on the come up of the worst of times.
I've been a fan of my entire life, so I've been through it.
When was the first time you got to Lincoln?
I got to Lincoln back in 2023.
2023.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your first reaction to a Husker football game? Like, they're live and present now, not just watching on TV.
Well, I mean, it wasn't my first, but it's a weird dynamic. Yeah, I moved here, but like
you got that tie line for a while.
Yeah, it wasn't my first game. I've been to more games as a non-student than I have as a student.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, that's not technically true, but
you've been to a lot of games.
I've worked security. I was at every game this season, so yeah. I can't coming in during a coaching change was weird. Just like Coach Rule, and it was just weird. It was weird being here during all that, and then especially I mean I worked for Rule for a few months, just like little tedious things, but like just seeing what that was like, the dynamic was weird because I remember like when Frost was here and that previous staff, it was like a completely different team, which obviously that makes sense because the staff runs deep, but it's just interesting seeing that. And then obviously like as a fan, getting some of that behind the scenes a little bit with just working and recruiting for a little bit definitely was like eye-opening and really cool experience for sure. But yeah,
I was just wondering from like the high school kids perspective, like for how many of these guys will it be like kind of a pleasant culture shock, you know? Because obviously I think all of them are familiar, you know, Nebraska football, like I said, they're on social media, they know the fan base, that there's a lot of stuff, you see the clips and stuff, but to actually go there and present is a whole nother feeling. And that's what I was trying to hone in on. And it's like, that's my hope for why this place fills up a little bit.
To kids that are from the Midwest, I imagine it's just like, okay, like this is Nebraska, it's just another Midwest state. But like, this is the type of question like you think about guys like Ja'Cory Barney from Miami. Like that's like I'm from Florida, but like that's Florida. Like that's deep South Florida. Like that's an adjustment. Like my hometown feels it's somewhat similar to Lincoln. Obviously, it's just different in its own ways. But Miami's that's its own different element down there. So like that'd be a good question for Ja'Cory. Like, what is it like that culture shock? And I imagine like he's somebody that now going into a sophomore season that a lot of these younger guys can like lean off of, who are kind of similar in that situation. Because I know now we're recruiting a little bit more down in Florida. Texas is really on the come up again with Nebraska. Got some guys from Texas coming in this weekend. California, we're recruiting out of
back
too.
to the Cali-Braska. We had that with Mike Riley, and it was called Cali-Braska, and had some hype for a while. Didn't work, but he had a heavy emphasis on a bunch of California kids. And some of them were good. It just didn't pan out.
Mike Riley, he had a history out there because of work at State. He was just used to recruiting on that coast. So that definitely helped him. But like Adrian Martinez is from Fresno, California. Like we have a decent history with that. But yeah, I like Cali for sure. Yeah, I mainly like Texas. Like that's where I want to recruit out of is Texas.
That's the problem is so does every other
Texas
school.
And Florida. Like I think and maybe I'm a little biased, but I actually think Florida's the biggest, best, most deepest place to recruit football players.
There's an argument to be had. I can tell you what the exact numbers are, but like in terms of football, just like between the schools that are there and how much talent those schools have, they're all recruiting those same areas. And for how many great athletes come out of that small vicinity, like obviously per capita, you guys got a ton of people in Miami, but even per capita, like you guys are pulling out athletes left and right.
South Florida alone is its own like just insane area for high school football. And then like where I was from, like we had Lakeland, and then Edgewater was near me, which is where Tommy Hill went to high school. Yeah, so we had a few. It was just deep. I mean, there's definitely like Texas and obviously like those are the big three, right? Texas, California, and Florida. So
and then you kind of just group a lot of those SEC states together as like a belt of recruiting grounds,
like Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Like you put those, you kind of string that row together, and you're gonna find, they almost kind of band it together if they can try to pull some of those guys out.
Nebraska too. It feels like every other class is like, I don't know. Nebraska's weird. Like there's always good talent here, but it almost feels like they get recognized every other year, if that makes sense. Like the year before this recruiting class, they were getting like high profile, like okay, like because they're these guys are committing to Nebraska, they're getting ranked higher. Like this year, you're not seeing that as much.
I think it's this is an argument people have all the time, and yeah, part of it is like obviously Nebraska, you're just gonna have some bad years.
Yeah.
Where we didn't really have a ton of athletes. Like you're gonna with our population, you're just gonna have some years where there aren't like super, super talented guys out there. And then there's gonna be years which potentially is this year where you're just missing. Where some of these guys, they do have offers from other universities. And this gets tricky with the 105 roster limit as well. And Matt Rule spoke on it now. He's like, listen, we can be the first, but at some point in time, it's like you also want to respect your own brand. Like, yes, we are Nebraska, but we can't just give a scholarship to every single potential good athlete we see.
Well,
Not only it's one thing to be a good athlete, like, do they fit the system? I think sometimes people got to pay attention to that because it's
for sure.
Would you want them to take a kid out of a Nebraska high school just because Nebraska, and then they end up going there and it's a terrible fit for him because, whether it's the defense and Nebraska's run 3-3-5 and, whatever their position is at their high school level, sometimes they're just not going to have a really good spot meshing there, especially with the talent that you have already. Or they're going to want to sit back when they're that good for 3 years because you already recruited that much into it. So I think a lot of time people just got to keep that in mind. Like, yes, we can be the first to every single Nebraska potential Division I player, especially with the 105 roster limit coming down the barrel. Like, yeah, it sucks, but sometimes you got to pump the brakes on it and let the smaller schools be the first one in because they know that's their advantage. They have to be the first one in. Otherwise, they'd wait too if they could. I promise you, they just can't.
I think Coach Rule's just mainly prioritizing like recruiting for talent more or less instead of I know it's great to get in-state guys, but he's just if you're a good fit, like if you're a talented athlete player, whatever, like that's who they want. Like the first player in the 27 class out of state, number 2 quarterback overall in the class, Trey Taylor. So like, yeah, I think he's just like
if you're good. You can be Carter Nelson.
He's kind of moving on from I'm prioritizing this group of people that are in state and then kind of, go into the outside. He's just like, hey, if you're talented, we're interested. Like it doesn't matter. I don't care where you're from. You could be from Florida. You could be from Nebraska. You can be from Montana. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
So, which is a great thing.
Well, with the 105, I just think that's the way more and more coaches are going to lean into.
You kind of just have to be open-minded to wherever, I don't know.
Yeah, before it's different because, there's a lot of guys where we weren't really sure. We offer walk-ons. So it's just like left and right. Here we go. Like, we'd love to see what you can do. We're not sure yet, because, I think Matt Rule's a pretty honest coach. Everything we see, obviously, we don't know all the details, but from what you hear and see out of it, seems like he's a pretty straightforward coach. And he'd love an era where the 105, I'm sure, didn't exist. And he can go talk to those groups and be like, here's a walk-on spot. We're not sure yet.
And I talked a little about this with Adam Carricker earlier. It was, There was a quote somewhere. Nebraska kids used to come to Nebraska and used to be confident because they wouldn't leave because they're from Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Now that changes, and it's no ill will against guys that are from here that have come to UNL and left. That's just the new era.
Yeah,
and I think you could see that everywhere. If you go to Florida, guys from outside of Gainesville, he goes to UF and he leaves after 1 year. That's just new era. The transfer portal, all that. But you've seen guys that are from here that I'm 1000% committed and then they end up leaving anyways, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Who's the commit that jumped in the pool with Dan Lanning just to decommit like 7 days later?
Yeah, like
big 5-star recruit.
Come on. Come on.
That's the stuff that happens now. It's like you don't want to just completely go all in anymore because it's more of a business than ever. It's not so much built on goodwill and feelings. That should still be prominent.
Yeah.
But there is a business side underlying beneath it. And again, that's where you get to the 105. That's where you get all this stuff. And that's why we don't play Tennessee, in this upcoming schedule. That's why we're not doing that anymore because it's getting to the point where if you want to win, just like what the SEC is trying to do with college football playoffs. Yeah. We might have to talk about that next. Actually, we got about 5 minutes here left. The playoff situation is kind of driving me nuts. And it's not just the SEC. It's like the Big Ten as well. But why can't we all just get in a room and sit down and really try to figure out how we're going to rank these teams and how we want to put them in there? It feels like we're in just full-on propaganda wars.
Yeah, it's just
like the SEC is just bringing up the biggest hitting facts to say why they're the best and why their schedule's more grueling, and the Big Ten's just doing the same. It's like, how about you both sit down, calm down, and try to figure this out numerically? Let's really put this down on paper so we're not just selling propaganda. That's what it feels like right now.
Yeah, it's all interesting. I don't know. I think the Big Ten, I don't know.
Like when I say propaganda, it's not.
I don't have anything nice to say about the SEC, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, it's Big Ten's guilty of it too.
Yeah, the Big Ten's guilty of it too. But like the thing with the SEC is just like, come on,
yeah, they're a little.
Come on.
In my respect, I think they're a little worse at it. That's just where I'm getting so frustrated because I can't imagine how the presidents and the commissioners of like the ACC and these other conferences feel, because you just want to get to a point where you can have the fan base understand how this is going to go about. You know, the coaches know, the players know. Instead, what we're doing for how these big conferences are trying to do it, they're just screaming at each other, yelling why their schedule is so much tougher. And they'll use a bunch of tidbit facts, but they will not sit down together and figure it out.
My only recommendation to the SEC would be
9 conference games.
Yeah, don't play a non-conference game in the middle of the season. That makes your schedule weaker, like significantly weaker.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it's November and I turn on the TV and it's Alabama going up against USF.
Yeah, or it's like Southern Indiana. That's or some
crazy.
Nobody. Like
that's crazy. Like shout out USF though, but like that's crazy. Like come on, why are we playing non-conference games in the middle of the season? Like it makes no sense. And then they argue that the schedule's tougher. It's just not. It is just not.
No, I agree because there's going to be these situations where. Even last year, do you want to talk about Georgia having a brutal road? Absolutely. But we cannot talk about the SEC and act like they all had Georgia's schedule. They didn't. Some of those schedules were a lot easier. There's always going to be in every single conference. We looked at Wisconsin's schedule this upcoming year.
Yeah.
Do you think every Big Ten schedule looks like that? Of course not. So Wisconsin can go and say, we've had the toughest schedule, and they absolutely did. But we cannot all go from the Big Ten and say, across the board, look at Wisconsin's schedule. That's us. It's not us. That's just Wisconsin this year. And that's where the SEC drives me nuts. It's like, you're going to have some teams every year that, guess what? Their schedule's really hard because you're in the SEC.
I've seen people just being like, let's do Big Ten versus SEC twice a year. And I actually agree with that. I actually think that's a good take because
a lot of it
just solves a problem because now it's just even. Now we're both playing each other and then you're playing your conference opponents. Like your non-conference game should just be against those type of opponents. Like, yeah.
I like that.
I actually don't think that's a bad thing.
I've always never been a big fan of tune-up games. And that's just the way college, and I don't blame any coach for doing it because you honestly kind of want to at that point because you're not going to risk losses.
Yeah.
But, it's just such a slap in the face to the smaller schools. I mean, we have a system right now, and it makes sense if you're a coach because that's the way it's been. But like the tune-up games, they're just like, it's a weird preseason that we invented into the regular season.
Yeah.
Like, do we really need that?
No.
I don't think we do. I think you guys just can go play football right off the bat. And end a lot of the conversation if you put some of those Big Ten schools in there. But now they're talking about college football playoffs, 16, 18. How long do we want the season to be as well? And if you got to play that brutal, then we're talking about player safety and stuff as well. But again, it's not an NFL season either. So where I come to all this is 9 conference games. I agree with you. I do think it's a good idea to flex those Big Ten games in early. SEC Big Ten. Like, go at each other.
Yeah, just go. Like,
you guys want 4 guaranteed conference bids? You better play each other at least once.
I love that as a Nebraska fan. And also, if you're a business person, you should love that too. Because imagine the viewership on Nebraska OU, Nebraska Texas. Like, I can name a million more teams that would get a lot of people watching it that are great matchups. But like, just Nebraska alone, as a Nebraska fan, I would love to see Nebraska versus Texas reignited. I'd love to see Nebraska OU reignited, even though we played a couple years ago.
Well, even Tennessee.
In the 2 years, Tennessee, that'd be fantastic. Nebraska, Florida, that would be great. Like, there's so many SEC opponents that I would love to see Nebraska play. Now, I'm not saying Nebraska is going to go in there and mollywop Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's not going to happen. But I'd love to see those matchups. I think it's great. It's only good for football. Yeah. I'm a Nebraska fan. I'm also a football fan. That's great for football.
Well, and I think that's why most fans were rightfully upset. Like, you can feel way about it. Like the Tennessee game. I can understand 100% why Matt Rule didn't want that.
No, for sure.
And why Dana didn't want that.
No. Yeah.
I can also understand why the fans wanted it. But like, looking at the SEC and some of these other Big Ten schools, you're like, why would we do that? We're trying to get to the college football playoffs. Clearly, we're making it harder on ourselves to do that.
Yeah, if they're gonna go out there and say, hey, like we're gonna play these hard opponents, like, can you, like, yeah, if it's gonna be fair across the board,
then we can do it.
But if y'all are gonna have us make us be one of our non-conference, Tennessee's one of ours, and then they're
games on top.
They're just gonna go and throw all these whatever teams in there. That's not fair. I don't know.
Well, to me, the biggest slap in the face is how late it is.
Yes.
It's also if you're one of those schools, I'll make up a fake one. If you're the Indiana Sycamores.
Yeah.
I think that might actually be I can't remember if that's their actual mascot or not. On one of their smaller schools. But, you have to take the paycheck to get your money, but that sucks that late in the season having to go get just the brake speed off you.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. But you're you got to take the check.
You also could be Georgia Southern because I've seen it happen.
Yeah, you could be Georgia Southern. But
we both know.
Sometimes it works out. But I will say, typically it works out earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Much tougher for Georgia Southern.
That was earlier in the year.
To beat Nebraska. Maybe that Nebraska team, they still got much tougher for that Georgia Southern team to beat that school, I think, later in the year. You saw the same thing with Northern Illinois. Sure. Notre Dame went all the way
to the Natty, and they lost to NIU.
Yeah, and they made it all the way through there, right? Was it Ohio State? Notre Dame?
An Ohio State team that almost lost to Nebraska.
Yeah, it's because they beat Penn State. I was blanking on who they were facing.
An Ohio State team that almost lost to Nebraska, and a Notre Dame team that got beat by NIU. Played in the national championship, and not a single 1 seed. The undefeated Oregon Ducks, who got mollywopped by Ohio State in the college football playoff. I don't know. It's such a weird thing, but
and then we got to throw the break here, but that's my thing. If you guys are just going to guarantee yourself 4 conference games or 4 not games bids each, 4 for the Big Ten, 4 for the SEC. Do you really need to pad the beginning of your regular season? You guys are getting gifted 4. 4 if you're going to get in no matter what. So do you need to pad it? Because the best 4 teams in each conference, you're going to get in. It's a lock.
Yeah.
Why do you need to pad it anymore if you got 4 guarantees? So if I was the smaller schools, that's how I'd be screaming.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
If I'm a Big 12 or ACC school, I'm in the back of the classroom going, hey, what about me? What about me? Hey,
I'm getting, depending on the conference or your group of 5, we're getting 1. Bid, and some of these schools are gonna have to go play a Big Ten and SEC game out of their schedule.
My
brutal.
My one thing is Big 12. I feel like they have their ACC. Not really, but
they've been hurt.
They got Clemson. That's about it.
We'll see what Clemson does. They get talked about. It hasn't quite come to fruition yet. We got to throw it to break though. We're over the clock here. We'll talk some NBA on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Take a Weeknights. Jackson Kleinschmidt and Harrison Arens. Talk to you in a bit.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
National Electrical Safety Month is held every May to raise awareness about the importance of staying safe around electricity. Visit les.com/safety for safety tips on power lines, tree trimming, storms, and so much more.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing your family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Rose Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text the word HOME to 402-534-1919. That's HOME to 402-534-1919.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Ticket Weeknights. Harrison Arens, Jackson Kleinschmidt. We'll go for 2 more segments, and then we'll set up some replays for you guys to continue out the rest of Ticket Weeknights. But we'll talk some NBA Finals here. We'll talk a little bit of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals as well, because there was some shock that Tyrese Halliburton did not win the Eastern Conference Finals. What is it, the Larry Bird MVP award? Magic Johnson MVP award on the West?
Yeah.
So he did not win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP award. And some people were surprised by it. If you really go by the stats, though, it was close. Siakam, overall, statistically, just better. And games going through just like his last 5. We'll do this for each of them. So 65%, 39 points, 50% from the floor in the next game, 17 points, his worst game, one of the worst ones throughout the series. Then he gets 35 or 50. Man, 52 points. That can't be right. That's got to be a typo.
No, that's definitely a typo. There's no way Siakam had 52, right?
I'm going to refresh. I think that's actually right. No, 30 points. Okay, weird. 50% field goal shooting. And then game 5, 38% field goal percentage, 15 points. And then they closed it out. Game 6, 55%, 31 points. So 39, 17, 30, 15, 31. And all of these, he's getting about 6 rebounds, 5 to 6 rebounds, and about 3 assists. And again, he's playing about 35 minutes in all of these. Tyrese Halliburton, 14 points, 20 points, 32 points, 8 points in that game 5 loss, and 21 points in that final. And his field goal percentage was just a little bit worse in all these games. So if you like the clutch factor, you're going Tyrese Halliburton. If you like just overall consistency, then it's Pascal Siakam. It was a 1-vote difference. Who would you vote for?
First of all, before I say anything, I'd like to say I feel like as a fan base, you should be happy that you have 2 players that you feel like they both deserve the Conference Finals MVP, because that just means your team's good.
Yeah, I mean,
first of all,
the Celtics would have loved that, but it was clearly Brown.
That's what I'm saying. Like now you got 2 players that were super valuable to the team to the point where you don't know which one is more valuable, and it's a toss-up. So that I just wanted to say that before. I was telling you off air. I just think Halliburton, because just, and you said it too, the buzzer beaters and the fact that he was like the heart and soul of that team in that series.
Well, it's like, it's like in those medieval movies, wherever it's like they rally to the king. Who's the leader? Who gets the guys to rally?
Like, who did they hoist up at the end of the buzzer beater? Obviously, it's the guy that hit it, but it was Halliburton.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. It's just like you could argue that the momentum from that buzzer beater push you into winning the series.
I like the idea of going by stats a little bit more.
No, I don't disagree with that at all.
I really wouldn't mind if either of these guys got the award. I think I'd still give it to Siakam. I mean, he's been really good and just kind of overlooked. He got that ring up in Toronto with Kawhi Leonard, and that was his breakout party, and he was integral through that entire run. Kawhi Leonard, MVP, obviously, but Pascal Siakam kind of, don't want to say got overshadowed, but that was his first kind of rise. And then it just wasn't working out, and now he's on the Pacers. I think this was a good showing. Everyone realized, like, this guy is still that same Pascal Siakam we saw with the Toronto Raptors. Like, he can be a game breaker. He's just really elite at getting to the rim and finishing. That's why he's always shooting about over 50% from the floor each night. So, is that more of a glue guy award because he's just consistent? Like, maybe. But you're not winning any of those games without Siakam. He was just that consistent with it. Like I said, I wouldn't be super upset. Whichever guy got it. Tyrese Halliburton definitely got pump faked. He thought for sure he was going to get it. I don't know how they vote for those awards as well. If they really just go by feelings or by stats, because the MVP award is also just kind of by feelings and stats some years than others.
Yeah.
Like if you're going by stats, Jokic. If you're going by winners, SGA. I'm not going to tell you which one's wrong. I'm just going to tell you the NBA flip flops on it too much. So that's why everybody always feels like they're guessing.
And it just, we've talked about this before, but it was easy for the NBA to give the MVP to the best player on the best team. Not that he's not deserving, but it's just an easy thing to do.
Yeah. And there's an argument to be had, like that's how it should go. And I'm totally fine with that, but the precedent hasn't been set that that's how it's been done. It's been done sometimes like that, but not all the time.
It's just a rare instance where you see Jokic, who already has three MVPs.
Three MVPs.
Him having three MVPs actually hurt him.
And it was better in points, rebounds, assists, 3-point field goal percentage, field goal percentage. He got better in every single statistical category by a decent amount. Not good enough to win the MVP.
He's the third player to average a triple double. Yeah.
Yeah, Oscar Robertson, Russell Westbrook,
and him,
Nikola Jokic,
which is as a center. Yeah,
I mean he's breaking the game, and again that's where I never know how to go about this award. It drives me nuts because I feel like every year we get it wrong, because I can go back to LeBron years, whether you like LeBron or not. There's definitely some years voter fatigue hit him. Kobe Bryant, there's a year Steve Nash got it. Voter fatigue hit him. And then, you could also make the argument, well, Kobe should have never won one MVP because we're going by the stats now, not the clutch factor. So there's no rhyme or reason, it feels like, for a lot of this voting, other than that's just how we feel about that guy right now. And I wish they would name the MVP as soon as the regular season's over. Because it feels like the postseason affects it every single time.
You get into the playoffs and you're like, okay.
It's going to slip into your bias.
Who's doing better? Who's in the postseason?
Mm-hmm.
Is there ever a situation where the MVP doesn't make the postseason?
I'd have to look that up. I don't think so.
Because that's just an interesting thought. Like, is there ever a situation where the MVP goes to a player in the NBA that doesn't make the postseason? I doubt
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won an award 6 times. He's also the only player to win an award despite his team not making the playoffs in the 75-76 season.
If anybody was going to do it, it was Kareem.
I thought Bill Russell, maybe.
That's
like he got the MVP and then got hurt back in the day. Because without Bill Russell, the Celtics team isn't dominating people the way they were.
I guess, yeah.
Like I was thinking, like maybe there was an injury at one point because you can have MVP season and get an injury very late at the end.
I don't know.
And then obviously
they're winning so many rings.
And like I couldn't. Back then, I don't know what the cutoff was for games. So, like, I was thinking back in the past, too, like maybe a Bill Russell, Kareem, I didn't even think about for whatever reason. But I could see a situation way back in the day where, guy gets hurt 3 quarters into the season. They're kind of a fringe playoff team. And obviously, without their superstar, they fall out. But
yeah.
clearly still the best player. But no, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, only NBA player in history to win an MVP and not make the postseason.
This is kind of off topic, but I was scrolling through X earlier and I saw a video of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar like playing basketball. I think it was when he set the it was like a playoff record for points like all time. He made basketball look so easy. like it was just like he'd roll up, hook, and he just so easy. I guess I 20 years old, so I never watched Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play any basketball. Then I saw that video, and I was like, wow, guys, made that look so easy.
Guys like Kareem and Will could dominate any era.
Yeah.
Like there's you can see the flexibility and athleticism with these guys. There's rebounds where you can catch Kareem Abdul-Jabbar full splits in the air. The guy's over 7 foot tall. He's in the air with the rebound, like, by his waist, and his legs are vertically out in the air. He's off the ground by about 35 inches, and he's full splits in there. Freaky, flexible, athletic. Like when you're that big and that flexible, you know what a great sign of an athlete is? Flexibility.
Yeah, flexibility for
because you get that snap, you get that quick reaction. When you see a 7-footer pulling that stuff midair, grabbing a rebound, you're in trouble. I don't care what era you're in. It's unreal. And there's always those like, oh, did he score the 100-point game or not? He probably did.
My thing is when people say that, they're like, did he do that? Did he do that? He did.
It's there. You can go find the box score.
Did.
There's like even tape now that they're recovering. Absolutely happened.
He didn't do it in 2025. He didn't do it in 24, 23, 22. Like I keep going. But he did.
Yeah. If you don't believe it, go just seriously watch how freaky athletic he was. Like I'm serious about a lot of those guys. And that's where we're down with the 90s. It's like the overall level of the NBA has risen to where the fringe guys are much better than what they used to be in the past.
Sure.
But the superstars have always been there.
Yeah, I know.
And like it's disrespectful just to shoo all them away. If you want to argue about the end of the bench guys, yeah, there's an argument to be had there. I don't know how we got there with the NBA MVP.
Hey, it always builds.
All right, NBA Finals. Pacers, Thunders. How many games and who wins?
Thunder in 5. I'm gonna give the Pacers 1 game.
I'm gonna zag on you. I was gonna go 5-2. I'll just call it a sweep. Thunder.
I was gonna say that, but I don't know. I could see Indiana pulling like 1.
Yeah, I can see them sneaking it. They're really good at home. They got an awesome crowd. The last Eastern Conference team the Thunder lost to was the Pacers. So the Pacers can't beat them. They've done before.
I just see like them going down like 3-0, rallying, and then dropping the next game. That's just what I see. But I hope it's an interesting series.
We all do.
Sure hope it is, but OKC is OKC.
Yeah, but unfortunately the second round was the best basketball this year.
Yeah.
Like Clippers, Nuggets, Game 7, over in the West, the Timberwolves were still alive and they were looking good. That went all the way. That go to Game 7 as well, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah. I think you had 2 Game 7s on the Western Conference, which were awesome. And again, that's just like a bummer that maybe it's not a bummer because the Timberwolves felt like they were primed to beat the Nuggets team. So it was kind of a nightmare when the Thunder beat them out in the Game 7. I guarantee you that's probably who the Timberwolves wanted, knowing that's how they're designed to beat. They get the Thunder, not prepared for it. It showed. They get gentleman's sweep. And now we're here, and the Thunder are so dominant. The amount of double-digit leads they've won, I think they have like over 50 games where they're winning by double digits in the regular season alone. Like flat out blowing teams out of the water. They're just really deep. And I said this before, like the worst thing about the Thunder is next year, 4 first-round picks. I think in 2026 they got 3.
Their picks are insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pick arsenal they have is crazy.
They can piss away the next 3 years and still be dangerous.
Yeah. No, 1,000%.
Dangerous for years to come as well.
They could have probably been like this a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And they've just
quietly make sure let's build.
All right, let's build, and they put it all together. And now you're looking at like they win one now. Okay, like
all those cheap contracts.
Come on.
Like you're just littered with cheap contracts too. Like that's the best thing about them is like every time they get a player who's onto that next contract, if they don't think they're absolutely integral for a dynasty, they got the first round picks. They'll wait.
Because
bring in a rookie contract.
I know SGA's on like he's already had his contract extended there, but I don't know what it is. I don't think it's anything absurd because when it was extended in 2021 or something like that. It was a 5-year extension.
Yeah, it was a 5-year, $179 million Deal.
Deer. Sorry.
So yeah.
Hey, that's more money. I thought.
Yeah, Supermax contract extension. I mean, it was Supermax, potentially worth $380 million.
Oh, geez.
I'd have to go more into.
I saw a video of like when he signed that contract. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna win a ring."
Okay, I see. So it can move up to there, but like 179.3 is guaranteed. So he definitely got his Supermax.
Never
back.
mind. For some reason I thought he was making all this money.
Yeah, he can get up even more with those bonuses and stuff if he performs, but that's the guarantee.
Because it felt like he was always like a decent, well, not decent. Decent's the wrong word. He was always a good player, and then all of a sudden it was like, bam, he's a superstar.
Oh, when Chris Paul got there, that's when he thrived. Because remember that was the era.
Yeah,
SJ was still pretty young in his career. I think he might have been a rookie, but Chris Paul gets down there, and I think they literally tell him like, listen. We understand this is just kind of layover for you. We're not going to push you. We understand this is the business. And it's like, no, I want to I'm not going to come over here and just sit around. Like I want to go win basketball games. We're not tanking. And then that's where SGA blossomed. And that's where he became really excellent at just running an offense, understanding. Not sure if he got the baiting fouls as well, from CP3. But again, like love it or hate it for him. I will always say that's on the officials to be better. Like players are always going to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So now you're sitting here. I think Chris Paul and that staff deserves a ton of credit because ever since that Chris Paul run, you can look at the year he had with Chris Paul once he got there. I know he wasn't a rookie because he was there before Chris Paul. And then once Chris Paul gets there, stats explode. And SGA even gives him a ton of credit. With that being said, we'll throw the break. On the other side, we'll talk a little bit more college football. Don't go anywhere. Jackson Kleinschmidt, Harrison Arens. Talk to you in a bit.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
When you're outdoors beneath Nebraska skies, adventure comes in all sizes. From quick escapes and long weekends to true off-the-grid retreats. Paddle, hike, camp, explore. Whether you have a few hours or a few days, we'll guide you to a state park or recreation area that's a perfect fit. Start your next adventure today at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Early break.
I'm not a dog expert. No, it's not. I don't mind dog. I'm not a dog expert, though.
He does talk to chickens, though. It's very
talked to
endearing.
Talked to another chicken this past week.
Talk to chickens.
What was that? Do it again.
with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac nachos and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
1221 N Street, Lincoln. CordellCordell.com. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, at least with here, me and Jackson carrying the hour solo. We did get the 2026 Hall of Fame ballot that came out today as well. And we won't get off the NBA Finals because I think you and me both think that'll be pretty quickly lived. Ndamukong Suh, though, he's on the list. We'll just start there, and I'll pull up the rest of the list, though. In or out? Kind of a rhetorical question.
If I had to say, I would probably say he gets in. According to Adam Carricker, the percentage of him getting in is between 100 to 200%.
It might be 1,000%.
Like, come on.
I mean, it's just one of those where he
was a dog.
An absolute fool not to put him in there.
Oh my gosh.
He's the only defensive tackle on this year's Hall of Fame ballot. The quarterbacks are interesting. Indiana QB, I had to look him up. Antoine Randall L. 1999 era was, I think, when he first got there.
You've never seen that intro? There's he had a funny like NFL Sunday night intro. He was like, "I'm Antoine Randall L."
Oh, that is ringing a bell. Yes, okay. I remember him for that.
That's what I remember him for. Is that funny Sunday night intro? Just, I'm Antoine Randall L.
It is great. I love it when people have fun with those. So there we go. He definitely is in the Hall of Fame for best NFL Sunday night intros. We can put him in there. The other QBs are Auburn QB Cam Newton. Boise State Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
If you like the pop off year, Cam Newton. If you like longevity and just consistently, I think you go Moore.
I mean, Cam Newton's a Heisman winner, so yeah. I feel like when you win a Heisman,
he's in.
That kind of puts you in auto. I think that's an auto bid. I think that's So definitely Cam makes it. Sue definitely makes it.
Kellen Moore too. I mean, can see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue it. The kicker,
real quick, Sebastian Janikowski, Florida State. Seminoles.
Janikowski.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Florida State has some good kickers.
They really do. If you go through the kickers of Florida State, they could have like some Heisman.
That's you know, I realized, and I should have known this sooner. One of probably my high school's best alumni was like a really, really, really good kicker for Florida State, Roberto Aguayo. And I was like, I saw him pop up one time, and I was like, oh, okay, what's that? I clicked on it, and his high school said like my alma mater. I was like, no idea he went to my high school. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, Florida State's had some pretty good kickers over the years, man.
Kickers are interesting ones too, because you don't know how good they are. And then one day you're like, wait a minute, this guy's insane. Because they'll just, because we had some punters like that, obviously nowhere to that level, but some guys just kind of got it. And those bomb.
I mean, Nebraska's got a good history with kickers and punters. Yeah. So, like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, that one popped up on my feed today. Alex Henry versus Colorado.
I was at that game.
Speaking of the Hall of Famer, bang, was a 51-yard field goal, and then Ndamukong Suh pick 6.
Yeah. That was, you know, you're talking about first. That was on the road. That was my first Husker game.
That was on the road, right?
That was at home.
Okay, so that one was that. Yeah, you're right.
Home.
I do remember him running in.
Cold as. It was cold.
Yikes.
It was cold. It was very cold.
I think, because didn't he pick it off and run to the north side end zone, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that place.
That was the first one you were at?
I was like 4. I like barely remember it because it was 08. So
incredible though.
Yeah,
what a game
but
to go
that
to.
was my very first Husker game. I have I remember just the loudness. It was cold. So as a Florida kid, I was like,
yeah, especially
dying,
especially at that age.
That was my first time in Nebraska. So like, yeah, that was crazy.
It came here one of the worst times, but also one of the best times.
Yeah.
Ugh. So let's get to the running backs now. The man who stole it, Mark Ingram, Alabama.
I mean, yeah, like I said, Heisman's an auto bid. Like it just is.
As much as you think Suh should have got that Heisman, even if he doesn't get that, Mark Ingram's stats.
Mark Ingram's
pretty
fantastic
season.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So even if he didn't have the Heisman, I wouldn't be against it.
No.
Wide receivers: Percy Harvin, Florida, and then Syracuse, Marvin Harrison.
Oh, I mean Percy
100%.
Percy Harvin was on the national championship teams at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So with Tebow. So yeah, for sure, I would throw him in there. He would have been Tebow's number 1 guy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would put him in there.
Marvin Harrison.
I don't really know a lot about Marvin Harrison in college. I know a lot about him in the NFL. Obviously, he's one of the all-time greats, but I don't know a lot about him in college. I don't think I knew he went to Syracuse.
Okay. We're definitely sure about Percy Harvin, though. I think that one's pretty easy.
I know about that one, yeah.
This is another layup. This is a really good ballot, by the way.
Yeah, so far.
Defensive end.
Is it Aaron Donald?
Aaron Donald.
I was like, it's got to be Aaron Donald, right?
It's Aaron Donald.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, come on. Put them all in. This is a good ballot.
It's a really
I
good
hadn't
ballot.
seen this. I knew Sue was on it. I hadn't seen this yet.
Oklahoma State wide receiver, Dez Bryant.
Oh, Dez.
Yeah, he's in this too.
I'm a Cowboy fan. Come on now.
Colorado running back. Oh, I forgot to throw him in with Mark Ingram. Eric Bieniemy, Colorado.
Eric Bieniemy?
Yeah.
Wait, huh?
Let me look up the years he played, but
Eric Bieniemy.
Yes, Eric Bieniemy, Colorado. Let me pull up the stats.
Like the OC? Eric Bieniemy? Or is there 2 Eric Bienemies?
I'm pretty sure it's the same one.
That's crazy. Maybe I do not know ball.
Rushing 87, 1990. He retired in 1990.
I mean, that's probably it.
Yeah.
Hold up.
So
is Eric Bieniemy.
No, it's
what
the same one.
Heck?
200.
I don't think I knew that.
He did have. I'm not sure.
Hey, Bears coach.
He got over 1,000 yards twice. So I think you could put him up there. 1988, 219 attempts, 1,200 yards.
Oh, come on. Man.
He's getting a lot of attempts, but he's putting up numbers. 1990, 288 attempts, 1,628 yards.
Oh, yeah.
And he puts up 17 touchdowns. Receiving yards, too. He got over 100 plus receiving yards. Average about 12 per reception as well. You can make, like I said, couldn't tell you what, 90s Colorado football looked like, but just based off the numbers, like Eric Bieniemy probably gets in there.
Yeah. Dang, I don't even think I knew he played college football.
You've made me second guessing myself. I was like, I don't want to sound like an idiot.
I was like,
different
Eric
Bieniemy.
Just like Eric Bieniemy. I didn't realize he played football, but I guess he's a football coach. That definitely makes. I did not know that about him.
Currently coaching the Bears.
Yeah, running backs coach.
Yeah, position coach from UCLA to running backs coach.
Yeah,
Chicago. I really shouldn't have doubted myself on that one. He's coaching the running backs at Chicago. But with that being said, we'll get out of here. Like I said, we'll have a replay for you guys. So don't go anywhere. We'll keep Ticket Weeknights rolling. Jackson Kleinschmidt and Harrison Arens. We'll talk to you tomorrow.